We found two unusual trades that expire in just 1 week on Bitcoin, the ETF, IBIT. And so in this video, we will analyze this unusual option activity to find out if there's a good chance that Bitcoin will go up next week or go down. And so without further ado, let's dive into the data as usual. As we can see here on the options time and sales tape, on January 15th, in the last hour of the market, these trades were being done. January 17th, 56 strike calls, and the 60 strike calls for the January 24th options. 5,445 contracts. But also, you can see that in the morning, 10:54, these same options were also being traded. 4,500 contracts. And so we can add up these contracts together to get a total. And also we can calculate the estimated trade costs over here. So we can see here that we have 5,445 plus the 4,500, and we get 9,945 contracts being traded. Now what was going on here was they were closing out of these January 17 options that expire this week and rolling to these 60 strike calls. And we can see they paid over here $99 for these 60 strike calls in the last hour. And then in the morning, they paid $77. Okay, so different prices, but we can estimate that price by calculating out the 99 times 5,445, we get about $539,000, and the 77,000 times 4,500 contracts, and then we add the $539,000 we had just calculated, and so this trade was $885,000. And how do we know they were closing out and opening these trades for the 60 strike calls? Well, we deep dive into the data, and we can also show over here that the volume and the open interest has changed. You can see yesterday, January 15th, for the January 24 options at the 60 strike calls, we originally had 7,400 contracts. But then you can see at the 60 strike calls, we are now increased at 18,000 today. Okay, so the open interest has increased because they opened new trades at the 60 strike calls. Now you'll notice that we are in these positions here at the 59 strike calls and the 64 strike calls because we also detected another trade here. You can see right over here at 11:03. We had these trades happening. January 17th, 55.5 and the 57.5 strike calls. These were the closing trades where they rolled to these January 24 options at the 59 strike calls and the 64 strike calls. And they paid 100 for the 59 strike calls, and they sold the 64 strike calls for 25. And so that is a trade cost of $75 each. And since there was 4,300 contracts, we multiply that out, and you can see that this trade was $322,000. And so when you analyze both of these trades, what you'll find is that both of them is a long bullish trade. You can see here at the 59 strike calls, we are in this position, and over at the 64 strike calls, the red means sell, the green means buy, where we also had bought these 59 strike calls and we sold the 64 strike calls for the $75 of debit that we had just calculated earlier. And so when we analyze this trade, on the risk profile, you can see here that the share price of the Bitcoin ETF is over here on the x-axis. The profit loss is on the y-axis. Note the zero break-even point. And so when the lines are below it, it is a loss. If it is above it, it is a gain. And that is why if it goes down, you can see here, negative loss. If it goes up, it becomes more positive profitable. This is a vertical call spread as opposed to the other trade, which is the 60 strike calls over here, where these are single call options, as you can see here. Now, the difference between the two is you can see here the theta decay. It is a negative 10. So time will decay the value of these options. But if you take a look at the vertical call spread, you can see that the theta decay on this is negative 5, half of that. And so less risk in comparison to those single call options because we sold a call option here, not simply only buying a call option like this single call option here. And so not only do we always sell options to reduce our risk, we also use position sizing to manage our risk, as well as different option strategies that we share on our website. And so if you want access to the trades that wealthy investors or potential insiders are in, then make sure to go to our website, because this Bitcoin ETF is not a trade based on inside information, because it is not a company. And keep in mind, this trade in Bitcoin is a higher risk trade in comparison to the higher chance of profit trades that we share on our website. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think Bitcoin will go up next week, or will it go back down? As usual, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, take care, and have a wonderful day.